Imagine a world where trees soared higher than modern skyscrapers, forming dense, emerald cathedrals that touched a sky rich with life-giving gas. A time when the very air itself felt different, heavy with a potent brew that fueled some of the most extraordinary creatures our planet has ever known. This wasn't some distant alien planet, but Earth, around 300 million years ago, during a truly remarkable chapter called the Carboniferous Period. It was an age of unparalleled lushness, a verdant paradise that stretched across vast continents, utterly unlike anything we see today. And within these ancient, humid forests, something incredible was happening to the arthropods, those segmented creatures we know as insects and millipedes. They were growing, not just a little bigger, but to truly astonishing, almost unbelievable sizes, far beyond anything that exists now. To give you a sense of scale, try to picture this. A millipede, as long as a small car, slowly crawling across your living room floor. Or a dragonfly with wings stretching wider than your arm span, silently gliding past your window, its eyes gleaming. This wasn't a scene from a science fiction movie. For the creatures of the Carboniferous, this was simply their everyday reality. These colossal invertebrates weren't just anomalies. They were the dominant life forms in an ecosystem unlike any other in Earth's history. So, what was it about this ancient era that allowed such truly monstrous insects and their relatives to thrive and reach such epic proportions? The answer, perhaps surprisingly, lies hidden in the very air they breathed, in the invisible gases that made up their atmosphere. During the Carboniferous, Earth's atmosphere was exceptionally rich in oxygen, reaching an incredible 35% saturation. To put that into perspective, our modern atmosphere contains roughly 21% oxygen, a significant difference that shaped life dramatically. This super-oxygenated air was the primary driving force behind the gigantism observed in the period's insect population. Unlike mammals or birds with complex lung systems, insects respire through a network of tiny tubes called tracheae, which open to the outside world. These tubes, essentially tiny pipes, deliver oxygen directly to their tissues without the need for a circulating blood system like ours. The efficiency of this tracheal system, however, has a natural limitation based on the concentration of oxygen in the surrounding air. With more oxygen readily available, these tubes could deliver oxygen much more effectively, even over longer distances within their bodies. This allowed insects to grow much larger before hitting the limits of their respiratory capabilities, pushing the boundaries of their size. Imagine this atmosphere, clear, dense, almost shimmering with its high oxygen content, filtering through colossal fern fronds. Beneath this vibrant sky, the land was a tapestry of endless, swampy forests, dominated by towering lycopod trees and giant horsetails. These weren't your garden variety ferns. Some grew to heights of over 30 meters, creating a dense, multi-layered canopy overhead. The air was humid, heavy with the scent of damp earth and decaying vegetation, a perfect incubator for life to flourish and expand. There were no flowering plants yet, no colorful blossoms to brighten the undergrowth, just shades of green and brown everywhere you looked. This uniformity of color, however, belied an incredible diversity of life forms, especially the bustling insects and other arthropods. High above, a true marvel of evolution, the Meganeura soared with majestic grace, its enormous wings beating rhythmically through the air. This prehistoric dragonfly was a terrifying aerial predator, boasting a wingspan that could easily exceed 70 centimeters, often reaching a full meter. Picture it. A living, breathing drone, faster and more agile than any modern bird, with multifaceted eyes scanning the humid air below for prey. It would dart and weave through the gaps in the towering vegetation, snatching smaller insects and even early amphibians from the air with precision. Its powerful mandibles, designed for crushing and tearing, made it an apex predator of the Carboniferous skies, striking fear into all it hunted. Down on the forest floor, a different kind of titan reigned supreme, a creature of segmented armor and countless legs, the arthropods. This ancient relative of modern millipedes was truly gargantuan, some fossils suggesting lengths of over 2.5 meters. That's roughly the length of a small car, slowly making its way through the dense undergrowth, an armored tank of the ancient world. Unlike its smaller plant-eating modern cousins, Arthropods was likely a detritivore, feasting on the abundant decaying plant matter on the forest floor. Its sheer size and formidable exoskeleton meant it had virtually no natural predators in this primeval landscape, living a life of quiet dominance. Imagine the rustling sound it made, its hundreds of legs scuttling over fallen fronds and moist earth, a continuous eerie symphony. The ground itself would subtly vibrate as it passed, a testament to its immense bulk and the power of its slow, inexorable movement through the underbrush. These giants, the airborne Meganeura and the terrestrial Arthropods, were just two examples of a world teeming with oversized life. There were also enormous scorpions, towering spiders, and other creepy crawlies, all benefiting from the bountiful oxygen in the atmosphere. Many of these creatures occupied ecological niches that are now filled by much smaller, faster-moving animals, adapted to our lower oxygen levels. Let's take a moment to truly imagine a typical day in this Carboniferous ecosystem, a truly immersive journey back in time to this unique era. As the ancient sun rises, filtering through the dense canopy, the air is thick with mist rising from the vast swamps and low-lying areas. Giant amphibians, early reptiles, and other bizarre creatures begin to stir, their calls echoing through the humid stillness of the morning. A Meganeura awakens, perched on a colossal fern frond, its iridescent wings glistening with morning dew, preparing for the hunt. It takes flight, a blur of motion, its compound eyes already locked onto the twitching antennae of a smaller, beetle-like insect in the distance. Below, an arthropod slowly emerges from its hiding spot beneath a fallen tree trunk, its long body segmented and armored, ready for its day. It begins its slow, deliberate foraging, its many legs rhythmically propelling it forward, sweeping aside smaller plants and debris in its path. The forest floor is a carpet of decaying leaves, twigs, and spores, a rich feast for the detritivores of this period, constantly recycling nutrients. Sounds are amplified in the dense, silent air, every snap of a twig, every rustle of leaves carrying far through the towering trees. This was a world without birdsong, without the chattering of squirrels or the roar of large mammals, a very different soundscape entirely. The dominant sounds were the hum of countless insects, the splash of water in the swamps, and the heavy breathing of large amphibians and reptiles. For millions of years, this stable, high-oxygen environment persisted, allowing life to diversify and evolve into these impressive forms, seemingly unending. The vast fern forests acted as colossal carbon sinks, pulling huge amounts of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, locking it away in their biomass. This process, photosynthesis on a truly global scale, continuously replenished the oxygen levels, creating a self-sustaining cycle. But as with all things in Earth's long and tumultuous history, change was inevitable, and this golden age for giant insects couldn't last forever. Around 305 million years ago, a dramatic shift occurred, an event known to scientists as the Carboniferous rainforest collapse. The climate began to change, slowly at first, but with devastating consequences for the widespread oxygen-producing forests that covered the land. A period of global cooling and increased aridification started, leading to widespread droughts across the supercontinent of Pangaea. The vast continuous rainforests, which had dominated the equatorial regions, began to fragment, breaking into isolated patches of green. This ecological fragmentation was catastrophic for many species, especially those adapted to the stable, humid forest environment, leading to extinctions. As the forests dwindled, so too did the global oxygen levels, starting a slow but relentless decline from their peak of 35% back towards modern levels. The reduction in plant cover meant less photosynthesis, leading to less oxygen being pumped into the atmosphere, disrupting the delicate balance. This environmental cascade had a profound impact on the giant insects, removing the very condition that allowed their immense size to develop. With less oxygen available, the tracheal respiratory system of insects became less efficient, imposing new, stricter size limitations on their growth. It simply became impossible for their bodies to deliver enough oxygen to sustain such large forms in a lower oxygen world, making them unviable. Over generations, natural selection strongly favored smaller individuals, those better able to survive and reproduce in the changing, drier conditions. The majestic Meganeura, once kings of the sky, found their descendants shrinking, their once imposing wingspans greatly reduced over time. The formidable Arthropods, too, eventually disappeared, unable to sustain its immense body in the drier, less oxygen-rich environment. The reign of the giant insects drew to a close, making way for new forms of life and different evolutionary pressures, shifting the balance of power. This period also saw the rise of reptiles, which were better adapted to the drier conditions, having watertight skin and eggs that protected their young. Their more advanced lung-based respiratory systems also gave them a significant advantage in the declining oxygen levels, allowing them to thrive. The Carboniferous rainforest collapse was a pivotal moment in Earth's history, reshuffling the deck of life on our planet, forever changing its course. But even though the giant insects and their world are long gone, their legacy continues to power our modern civilization, silently, powerfully. Those colossal fern forests, those vast swamps teeming with life, didn't just vanish without a trace. They left something truly precious behind. As the trees and plants died and were buried under layers of sediment and water, they didn't fully decompose, but underwent a transformation. Instead, under immense pressure and heat over millions of years, they slowly transformed, undergoing a remarkable chemical process underground. These ancient forests, packed with the captured energy of the Carboniferous sun, became the vast coal deposits we mine and burn today. Every lump of coal we extract, every ton burned for electricity or industrial purposes, is a direct link to that ancient world. It is the stored energy of millions of years of photosynthesis, compressed and preserved, patiently waiting to be released for our use. When we ignite coal, we are, in a very real sense, burning the sunlight of 300 million years ago, releasing its primal energy into our world. This hidden connection reminds us of the profound geological processes that have shaped our planet and continue to influence our daily lives. The Carboniferous period truly was a unique chapter, a time when insects ruled the land and sky in magnificent, terrifying forms. It was a vibrant, oxygen-rich world that pushed the boundaries of what was possible for arthropod life, creating wonders. From the awe-inspiring Meganeura, with its meter-wide wings, to the car-sized Arthropods slowly traversing the swampy forest below. These creatures remind us of Earth's incredible capacity for biodiversity and the ever-changing, dynamic nature of its ecosystems. Their story is a powerful testament to how environmental conditions, particularly atmospheric composition, can dramatically shape evolution. The rise and fall of these giants teaches us about the delicate balance of life and the profound consequences of climate shifts over time. Even now, as we grapple with our own climate challenges, the echoes of the Carboniferous rainforest collapse resonate, offering ancient lessons. We burn their fossilized remains, unwittingly tapping into the energy of a world almost unimaginable in its ancient splendor and power. So, the next time you see a small dragonfly flitting past, or perhaps stumble upon a tiny millipede making its way across a path, take a moment to remember its colossal ancestors, the powerful beasts that once dominated a super-oxygenated Earth long ago. Remember the towering fern forests, the humid air, and the silent, powerful flight of creatures whose like we will never see again? The Carboniferous Period, a spectacular visual feast for the imagination, a time when Earth truly fostered giants and incredible life. And a powerful reminder that our planet's past is filled with wonders, secrets, and an incredible story that is still unfolding today. This journey into deep time shows us that even the smallest changes in our world can lead to the most profound transformations. Thank you for joining us on this extraordinary journey back to the age of giant insects, where the air was a catalyst for evolution.